specifically in sales calls, but I think this applies to everything. What do you do when you come across unknown circumstances, right? Untread water. So this is a new situation to you when you're meant to be the one in charge. You're meant to be the leader. I think this comes back to my new favorite saying, which is undiscussed expectations are premeditated resentments. So I think what that means essentially is if you have criteria that this relationship is going to work on, and every communication with a person is about a relationship, right? How does that have to go for you to reach the outcome that you're looking for, that you'd be happy with, right? And so in a situation where you have unknown stuff, you don't necessarily need to tell them, hey, I usually do it like this, but we're different, we're going to do this instead. It's just to say, when you reach the point of your limitation, both cats poking. For example, I wasn't expecting this in the video, and I'm sorry, but I've got cats, and that's just what I like to do. So if you don't, find a different video. When you have this situation where you don't know what you're doing, or rather you're reaching new territory, set the expectation of saying, okay, this isn't how I usually do stuff, but I'm going to give it my best shot, right? Well, why do you look so sad? Because I'm holding you. So like, as an example, if you have twins in a call and you only ever sell to one person, I think it's a pretty simple solution. Just double up, ask the same question, get two answers, do two at the same time in parallel. Easy. I had another situation in a sales call where I was speaking with someone who was severely autistic. They needed a helper the whole time. And the parent, a lovely parent, had been turned away, had tried every solution she could think of. But I gave them the time of day. I spoke to him like a real person, because that's the only way I know how to speak to people. I didn't condescend. I gave him the space and the opportunity to do stuff. I allowed mum to help where she could. And I was saying, now look, it wasn't at the time, but we've now helped over 1,300 students. Out of the 1,300, these are the results that we get on average. I've never had a student like you. I do not know what we can do for a student like you, so I cannot make any promises. However, what I can do is take you through the pathways of all of these things, and based on our interaction today, your willingness to try, your attention, your willingness to put in the extra effort that is going to be needed for him, if you are open to a potential solution that I can't guarantee, I would happily help you, but I can't promise that it's going to work. And she basically broke down in happy tears. It was lovely, because no one had given her the time of day to have the choice, right? Some people had promised things to them that there was no way they were ever going to deliver. Other people just said no and left and just wouldn't even talk to this kid. And having that alignment, that very clear understanding of this is the contract that we are going to engage this relationship under, creates for a very clear, consistent timeline of your relationship. Of to say, hey, I think this is how it's going to go. We're going to review on this day. If it doesn't, this is the action we'll take. If it does, this is the action we'll take. Are you happy with all of those things? This is what's required of you. This is what you're going to get from us. And basically, you just outline everything. You have a human conversation with all the different variables. And I know lots of people don't have the mentality, the mental ability to go through all of that. But take it slow. Because if you don't, they will come back angry, always. At least that's my experience. This is true for employee-employer relationships, couple, human relationships. I don't even know the word for it. Romantic relationships, that's the right word. Platonic ones. just set the expectations of how you want to work and what transferable skills and experiences that you have that can apply to the situation. That's my best piece of advice for unknown territory. So hopefully it helps. Have a great day. Peace.